It feels like every day there's no lower that Donald Trump and his regime and his followers will go for him. Just when we think that they can get no lower from him starting a war in Iran that we are losing, by the way, that's causing economical chaos in the United States, to him posting some of the most outlandish things on Truth Social, from his Jesus Christ wannabe AI photo to him barking threats against Iran in violation of the Geneva Convention, to him and his Supreme Court appointees and Republicans in the Supreme Court gutting the voting rights bill, making it 10 times harder for people of color, especially African Americans, to vote in the next election. Well, the next election being the midterms and, of course, the 2028 election. You would think that that's the lowest that these people can possibly go. But day after day, on an hourly basis, Donald Trump and his minions in government show that there is no low, there is no line they can cross. There's always a sub-basement being built for these people, and then another, and then another, and then another, and then another. You would think they would run out of space for all those sub-basements, but they don't. I just found this out not too long ago, but I'll give you the background of what's happened. In 2019, under Donald Trump's watch, in case you all forgotten, there was a terrorist attack at Naval Air Station Pensacola, Florida, killing 3 Navy sailors and injuring 8 others. The man who committed the crime was a jihadist who was completely and totally radicalized. His name was Mohammed Salid Arasmani. I know I completely screwed up that name. Among the 3 that lost their lives in that attack that he murdered, Ensign Joshua Watson, Airman Mohammed Salim Hahem, and Airman Apprentice Cameron Waters, all 3 were members of the United States Navy. I remember that Donald Trump barely mentioned about anything about this attack. On Truth Social, on paper, on news conferences, nothing. You would think a person who's all patriotic would be all over this, but he wasn't. But the fact is, here we are in 2026. We went through Biden, and what the worst part about this whole situation, the victims' families are suing the Saudi government, and they do have a case. He came from Saudi Arabia. He was a academy cadet from the Air Force of Saudi Arabia. He was radicalized by Saudi Arabian terrorists. They have a case, and you would think that someone like Donald Trump, who claims to be all-American, who claims to love the red, white, and blue, who claims to be, dare I say it, America first, would jump at the chance at going after a government that sponsors terror. The same kind of excuse he gave about Iran. They sponsor terror, so we must destroy them. But the tricky thing about all this is he's not. Donald Trump hasn't done anything against Saudi Arabia or its leader, Mohammed bin Salman. And why? Well, maybe I need to explain completely. The families the victims' families need evidence derived from the DOJ investigation. But the DOJ isn't going to give them the evidence under Donald Trump's orders. Why? I'll give you a number. $6 billion. As in $6 billion. As in the relationship worth $6 billion between Mohammed bin Salman and Donald Trump. And all of it tied to golf. Yeah, golf. As in that sport where you have a putter or a driver, one of those stick things. You hit a white ball as far as you can, and you try to hit it in a small hole in the ground. That stupid sport that wastes so much time, that Donald Trump seems to love, but hasn't played competitively ever in his life. Anyway, you remember the sports league Live Golf that was started in Saudi Arabia. Many of the PGA pros actually made the jump to there, but right now it's on its last legs. They're losing money day after day, hour by hour. Right now they have 2 major tournaments left in the season, and Live is going to shut its doors. There's just one problem. They don't have any more venues to play in. So guess who just swoops in at the last second to help them out? Donald Trump. He's owning his properties, his golf properties, to have these tournaments, and he gets millions. So he made some sort of, he probably made some quid pro quo deal about it. You give me money, I'll let you host these tournaments here in my place. And Salman probably said, you need to tell these families to back the hell off us right now. Now, he probably didn't tell the families to back off. He's just stonewalling them. Because the DOJ has information from the investigation that could possibly help them in their lawsuit against the Saudi government. I thought that Donald Trump could go no lower than trying to sabotage our midterm elections, because he knows the Republicans are going to lose. He knows that once it's over, his life as President of the United States is no longer tenable. It's bad enough that he started a war with Iran. A war, may I remind you, that America is losing. Not the bullets, the bombs, the blood, and the dead soldiers, mind you, but we are losing because Donald Trump has unleashed chaos in this country. Economical chaos, political chaos, military chaos, all of it. And Iran can just sit back, pop some popcorn. Oh yeah, America will drop a few bombs. But it's nothing compared to what Trump is doing to his own people. That's the thought in our enemies. That's the thought in Iran. As I said earlier, there is no low that Donald Trump and his people will go. There's always another sub-basement, and another, and then another, and then another. But how far can he possibly go with this? And how far will we let him go with it? That is why November of this year, 2026, is so damned important. Donald Trump must be removed from office, or this is going to get a whole lot worse. We need to stop this before the next sub-basement is built. CTP, no truth, God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.